From a dystopian Disney park to an underground amusement park, today we're going to explore the most bizarre theme parks around the world. Hi, I'm Walt the animatronic duck, and today, Kate Sheridan accompanies me to explore the strangest parks in the world. Stay until the end of the video where I'll answer 3 questions from the audience. And don't forget to leave a like.
BonBon Land.
Hondenscheten, het grappigste snoepje van heel de wereld.
Our first destination is BonBon Land, which is the most bizarre of all the theme parks we have seen today. Located near Copenhagen in Denmark, this Danish amusement park is the 4th largest in Denmark. BonBon began as a candy factory that was famous for its weird and brazen candy names such as seagull droppings, large boobs, pee diapers, earwax, and Hunderpruter, dog fart. Amazingly, this turned out to be a massive hit with the kids. The company began receiving numerous requests from people to visit the factory, but this was not allowed due to strict hygiene laws. So the owner, Michael Spang, decided to expand and create a theme park where the rides would be just as weird as their candy names. This 32-acre amusement park is filled with dirty cartoon animals. A certain level of bathroom humor is needed to visit this park. Their mascot is the famous Henry Hunderprut, the farting dog. There is even a roller coaster named after him called the Hunderpruter Rutsjebaan, which translates to dog fart roller coaster. As the name suggests, it's a roller coaster that takes people on a ride through giant mounds of dog poo while a speaker plays farting sounds the whole time. The sounds are actually played by a giant dog, Henry, that is lifting its leg. Apart from this, there's the sewer rat that is projectile vomiting, defecating seagulls, and lactating cows. Despite their themes, this park is still kid-friendly as long as you can appreciate this kind of humor. It also houses the Vildsvinet, the wild boar, which is Denmark's best roller coaster. It has a 97-degree ascent and a speed of 45 kilometers per hour. Inside the park, there's also a fantasy world and a walk-through indoor playground, which is said to have Denmark's largest collection of mechanical pixies. This is not a place to be missed if you enjoy the weird and the bizarre. Diggerland. As the name suggests, Diggerland is a unique amusement park that is entirely construction-themed. Inspired by diggers and JCBs, there are 4 Diggerland theme parks in the UK, and 1 is in the US, which is located in New Jersey. What exactly can you do at this unique theme park? The answer is literally anything that has to do with construction. Not only does this park allow you to dig and excavate, but it also allows you to experience heavy machinery in a safe and controlled environment. You can operate, drive, and ride on real construction vehicles. So you can drive giant backhoes and dig holes with excavators. A dream come true for construction fanatics, especially kids who are into this stuff. The park covers over 14 acres and has more than 40 rides and attractions. All of the attractions featured here are diesel-powered and are made from full-size construction equipment that has undergone advancement and engineering modifications to keep the visitors safe while also giving them a feel of what the actual machinery looks like. They have a very clever and apt slogan, "Buckets of fun for everyone." The construction theme is consistent throughout the park. The industrial fencing, workman signs, and staff in hard hats and safety vests make you feel as if you had stepped into a real construction site. As soon as visitors enter the park, they are given the keys and allowed behind the wheels of all the construction equipment. The trained staff teach the kids and adults how to use the equipment. Some rides can be fully operated by the visitors, while some others are driven by the staff while you go for a ride-along. Apart from these, the park also has many fun amusement park-type rides that combine construction equipment and games. There is the Excavator Express train ride, the Sky Shuttle, the Spin Dizzy, and many more. Keep in mind, however, that most rides have a minimum 36 inches height requirement. Diggerland even has a construction-themed water park. Diggerland is not just for kids. For an extra fee, adults can operate the really heavy machinery on their own after a brief one-on-one training session. They will be guided through radio communication throughout. They can also crush old cars or bring in their own car to crush on site. Hacienda Napoles. For the next item on our list, we go all the way to Colombia to get yet another repurposed theme park. Hacienda Napoles used to be the luxurious country estate that was built and owned by the infamous Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar. The estate, located about 4 hours east of Medellin, covered around 20 square kilometers of land. The estate had a Spanish colonial house, a sculpture park, and even a zoo where Escobar kept many animals from across the world, such as antelopes, ostriches, exotic birds, ponies, and hippos. The hippos are the most famous part of Hacienda Napoles. There are reportedly over 40 hippos living on the grounds of the estate itself, including a female hippo called Vanessa, who apparently responds to her name. She is also the park's mascot. In addition to this, the ranch also housed a private airport, a bull ring, and even a go-kart racing track. After Escobar's death in 1993, most of the buildings were either demolished or repurposed, and today it houses a popular theme park with a water park and zoo. In 2014, a Jurassic-themed styled African park started operating on the grounds of Hacienda Napoles, which was being rented by a private company. It contained a water park, a guided safari attraction, aquariums, and a replica of the caves in Colombia's Cueva de los Guacharos National Park. It also houses a zoo without cages. The entrance to the park contained a replica of a Piper PA-18 plane. However, the plane was painted over with zebra stripes to keep it within the park's theme, and later was transported to another location inside the park. In 2015, Escobar's house partially collapsed. The ruins still remain there today for visitors to visit. There are almost no traces left of the drug lord in the kid-friendly theme park today, except for the plane and the ruins of his house. Dismaland. On a weekend of August of 2015, in the seaside resort of Weston-super-Mare in Somerset, England, a bemusement park suddenly popped up. It was a temporary art project organized by street artist Banksy, which was set up at Tropicana, an unused Lido. The aesthetic of this project was inspired by a series of paintings called Dismaland by American artist Jeff Gillette. Banksy described it as a family theme park unsuitable for children. This exhibition was live for only 36 days. What is the story behind it? Let's go back to about a month before the exhibition opened to the public. This was around the time when sudden construction began inside the abandoned and dilapidated seaside swimming resort in Weston-super-Mare. Local residents were led to believe that it was going to be a shooting site for a new crime thriller movie called Gray Fox by a Hollywood company called Atlas Entertainment. They even went so far as to post signs proclaiming Gray Fox Productions all over the site, completing the deception. Soon after construction began, photos began surfacing of some of the massive sculptures. This mysterious construction included a very dingy-looking Disney-like castle, one that looked like it belonged in a horror movie rather than a cheerful place like Disneyland, and a giant rainbow-colored pinwheel. There was even a distorted version of the Little Mermaid in the river by the castle. All the secrecy created an aura of mystery. Anticipations were heightened. The exhibition opened, revealing it to be a pop-up art exhibition with a post-apocalyptic theme. Yet another one of Banksy's curations, just as controversial and spectacular as his previous events. Dubbed the UK's most disappointing new visitor attraction, this causes quite a stir among citizens. Everyone was clamoring to take a look at this amusement park themselves. So much so that the official website crashed due to over 6 million people simultaneously rushing to buy tickets online. This led to speculation about whether this was also a part of the bemusement experience. So, what exactly was Dismaland? It contained an assortment of artworks from 58 global artists, all of them bizarre but beautiful. Other than Banksy's own works, it showcased pieces by artists such as Damien Hirst, Jenny Holzer, and Mike Ross, among others. All of the artwork was packed into 3 main interior galleries. The entrance featured papier-mâché security gates, a papier-mâché desk with an assortment of papier-mâché items such as handcuffs, walkie-talkies, machine guns, and even a dismal milkshake. Created by Bill Barminski, this entrance set the tone for the exhibition. The exhibition itself featured eerie announcements in the vein of The Hunger Games by Jenny Holzer, a fear-constricted down-under police lockdown by Jim Cowdy, a police van fountain wherein an abandoned police van sits on a pond with water spouting out of its top, and an installation of a crashed Cinderella's pumpkin chariot that is being photographed by the paparazzi. Some other disturbing installations included a close-up of migrants sitting in a remote-controlled boat, as well as a Comrades Advice Bureau, which shows people how to get into guerrilla bus stop advertising. What exactly was the purpose of Dismaland and its confusing and bizarre installations? Banksy said that the theme was that theme parks should have bigger themes. The artistic themes of apocalypse, anti-consumerism, and critiques on celebrity cultures, immigration, as well as law enforcement, point towards an anti-capitalist theme. The uninterested park staff who do not remotely care about helping the visitors add to the overall theme and message. This brilliant exhibition sent a powerful political message by bringing to light many moral concerns and issues that plague the world today. What has happened to the exhibition since? Nothing was wasted. Keeping in line with the true theme of the park, the vast majority of the building materials were used to build shelters for refugees. Some exhibits were donated, and some were sold online. Even though the exhibition is long over, its message is one that should be remembered. Salina Turda. Our next amusement park takes us to Turda, Romania, to a salt mine 100 meters below the ground. Just outside of Romania's second largest city lies Salina Turda, one of the oldest salt mines in the world. Over 2,000 years ago, Salina Turda was a place of constant activity. Its vast caverns were used as bomb shelters during the Second World War and later converted to storage areas for cheese. It finally closed down in 1932. Still, it got converted into a futuristic sci-fi underground theme park. This largest salt mine museum in the world, with its thousands of years of history, is breathtaking in its beauty. Brightly lit and with a modern art theme, this amusement park is otherworldly. Visitors descend about 400 feet through a series of narrow tunnels to find themselves onto a platform of sorts, which they have an aerial view of the amusement park that is located more than 40 meters below. There's a wooden gangway which you can use to walk around the perimeter of the park. That is, if you're brave enough. From the ceiling, there's a glass elevator that takes visitors down to the main floor, offering a panoramic view of the park on the way. The park contains a mini golf course, billiard and ping pong tables, an amphitheater, and even a 20 meters tall Ferris wheel, which seems to be the fan favorite. This is the only Ferris wheel in the world that operates underground. But the truly magnificent part is the small lake that this salt mine hosts in one of its caverns, which is another 120 meters underground, accessed through an elevator. From this lake, you can cross over to a small island, from where you can hire a boat and go exploring the deeper caverns on your own, and admire the stalactites that hang from the marbled ceiling. There is even a salt waterfall that blooms above your head. One of the most fascinating things about this park is the history it carries. It is said that no explosives were used to carve out the mine. Everything was done entirely by hand or by a machine. And this mine has carved out more than 3 billion tons of salt. The mine has some rooms where visitors can learn about extracting salt. The climate inside the mine is also said to have some health benefits. Known as halotherapy, the air is said to help with asthma, hay fever, and other respiratory conditions. This unique amusement park is a combination of history and fun, along with some health benefits thrown into the mix. Land of Oz. In the silent, peaceful wilderness of Beech Mountain in North Carolina, we can find Land of Oz. This park is one of the most creepy places in the world, and it has one of the most tragic theme park stories. The story of this park goes back to 1965, when brothers Harry and Grover Robbins decided to turn the Beech Mountain Ski Resort into a theme park based on Oz that could be visited year-round. Grover Robbins hired designer Jack Pentas to be able to bring to life his vision of the park. Robbins had a lot of experience and had been successful in creating amusement parks, and a clear example is Tweetsie Railroad that is still in operation. Unfortunately, Land of Oz did not have the same destiny as Tweetsie Railroad and ended up having a tragic history. The first blow to the park was the unfortunate death of Grover Robbins. This hit the creative team very hard because they were very close. But still, the park opened on June 15, 1970, to all the usual fanfare. Debbie Reynolds cut the ribbon along with her daughter, Carrie Fisher, and thousands of visitors made their way into the park, where they could ride in a hot air balloon, go up the mountain, or see a show in the Emerald City. The park let guests experience their own Oz story. They were stuck inside Dorothy's house in the tornado, walked a yellow brick road made up of 44,000 glazed yellow bricks, and even visited the inhabitants of the land. Emerald City consisted of many shops and an amphitheater, which had a show every half hour. The park also had a museum with original movie props, including an original Dorothy dress worn by Judy Garland. With all of this, the park's opening was a success, and it attracted more than 400,000 guests in the first year of operation. But in 1975, a mysterious fire destroyed Emerald City. The amphitheater and many of the shops were completely gone, along with the park offices, costumes, sound equipment, and props. While the fire was going on, the park's museum was sacked. Many items were stolen, and Dorothy's dress was gone. People say that this was caused by disgruntled employees, but no one knows for sure. After this incident, Land of Oz was taken over by a new administration, but sadly never recovered, and closed in 1985. The park was abandoned, vandalized, sacked, and left to rot for a while. But thankfully, many parts of the park were saved, like the yellow brick road, many buildings, and most of the costumes. Then, in 1990, Emerald Mountain Realty bought the area so they could develop a condo complex. On July 4th, 1991, the park was reopened for the day as part of the town of Beach Mountain's Independence Day celebration, and as a kickoff to the redevelopment of the property. And it didn't open again until 1994, when an event called Autumn at Oz was created. This event started as a reunion for the original park's employees, but it became so popular that it was turned into an annual public event. By 2009, over 8,500 people were attending. Each year, the event has been expanded to include all of the characters from The Wizard of Oz, shows, museum, Emerald City setup, Omaha Vendor Fair, petting zoo, pony rides, and other activities within the Oz theme. And the money raised during this event goes back into the renovations and upkeep for the park, and of course, to add new attractions every year. In 2013, the park added another annual event called Journey with Dorothy. During this event, Dorothy guides guests through the land while recreating the story of how she found the wizard. These annual events keep this park alive and prove that the park found its place somewhere over the rainbow. Wunderland Kalkar, Germany. The Wunderland Kalkar, located in North Rhine-Westphalia, Germany, is possibly one of the most bizarre theme parks. It was built on a former site of SNR 300, which used to be a nuclear power plant. However, the construction of the nuclear plant became the subject of great controversy, so it was abandoned due to a large number of construction problems and protests by citizens over its environmental concerns. This unused piece of land, which was one of the most expensive, was just sitting there. Dutch entrepreneur Henny van der Most then purchased this site for a sum of $3 million and converted it into an amusement park. He converted many of the facilities that were constructed for the nuclear plant into attractions for the theme park, including the cooling tower, which now houses a swing ride as well as a climbing wall. This park has more than 40 attractions, but at 48 meters high, this vertical swing remains the most visited. The climbing wall on the outside is 130 feet tall. The nuclear plant was constructed on an area big enough to fit 80 soccer fields inside. It also has multiple restaurants and several hundred hotel rooms. With more than 300,000 visitors a year, this repurposed amusement park remains one of the best tourism destinations.
Thanks, Kate. Now, it's time to answer 3 questions from the audience. The first question is, how do you feel about being home? Do you like your new home? Yes, I love my new home. Here in my headquarters, I have my 3D printer, where I can print all the things you asked me for. Also, we have all our collections of Loungeflies and park memorabilia, and I share a room with my best friend, Grim. The next question is, do you love our drawings of you? Of course, I love them. They're the best part of my day. I've received many of your drawings and fan art, and I love them all. If you want to send more, you can tag me on YouTube or send them directly to fastpassfactsfanart@gmail.com. Thank you so much for all your drawings. Now, on to the last question. Have you heard of Distortions Unlimited? And if so, what's your favorite animatronic from the company? Yes, we love them. In fact, we have a video dedicated to their best animatronics that you can check out in the video card. My parents, Luz and Sauko, visited the now-defunct Distortions Monster World Expo a few years ago, where they could see all their animatronics and the company's history. We also have a video and tour of the museum in the description and the pinned comment. Our favorite animatronic from Distortions is the Sleeping Giant. That's all for now. Leave your questions, and I'll answer them in shorts or in our next video. Love you all, and remember, I always quack back.